Hey, what's up, world? Welcome back to another episode of me and what I'm thinking, what I want to share, what I want to say. Yeah, check out the new shirt. No, this isn't new. I made it several months ago. I actually made it out of bleach. Instead of putting ink into the shirt, I took color out of the shirt. So I made a stencil with the bleach and used bleach instead of ink. I thought it was pretty cool. I like it actually better than using color. So I'll tell you what, if anybody can tell me what this shirt means, not anybody, first person. If there's even one person that can tell me what this what the number represents, I'll send you a free one in the mail. I'll even pay for the postage. So today I want to talk about something that's been on YouTube a lot, especially TikTok. It's this generation. I don't know who the generation is right now that's like, I don't know, early 20s. But it's the month of June 2025, and there's like, everybody's having an emotional breakdown. And it's not good. And I know the reason for it. And it's my Gen X, you know, it's my generation's fault. So I'm sorry. Let me put that out there right now. We broke you. Every generation before us, I think I've said this several times, but there was a song that was like, every generation blames the one before. Every generation blames the one before. Nope, it was us. Gen Xers. We broke it. We broke the system. Prince was right. 1999. Listen to that song. The world ended. Every generation before us had their own thing. They had their own way they dressed. They had their own music. They had their own language, sorta, slang. Like if you were, well, like my generation would say you were a nerd or a dork or a geek. They would say you were a square. And the generation after me was like, you're a loser. But you were a square, But, from bell bottoms to the hippies and, I don't know, just cars, vehicles, magazines, movies, media in general, especially music. That's our biggest push in every generation. But it progressively got worse and worse and worse and worse. Like way back in the day, women essentially weren't supposed to show their legs, And then even when I was in high school, the girls' skirts were supposed to be like 4 inches below the knee. Now everybody's pretty much naked, and it's gross. Truly, I don't get it. People have no... I don't want to say shame, because you shouldn't have shame. I'm sure there's a better word for it. I just wasn't thinking. They have no respect for themselves. There's no way my grandmother would have been wearing these tight leggings that show everything. All right, I'm going to get out of that rabbit hole because that's a whole nother conversation. But every generation had its own thing. And after 1999 came the year 2000, and that generation really didn't have anything. And there was a stalemate for a while. And now here we are, 2025, and these generations have... It's just like a Mod Podge. It's like a bowl of stew of everything. Which is okay, I guess. Except that everybody's like, I have no identity. I don't know who I am. Well, maybe because you can't wear leggings one day and then bell bottoms the next. They have purple hair one day, and the fingernails used to be like that, and it was like, wow, long. Now fingernails are like this long. It's like, what are you doing? That doesn't even. Who are you, Wolverine? It doesn't even make sense. And they're not yours. If people go out and buy them. I want to, it'd be politically incorrect for me to say women, but the female race, that's not right. I'm definitely off track here. But females, Chris Rock had a stand-up, and his joke was that everybody lies, but women lie. Women tell the biggest lies. Men are like, oh, I was at Bobby's, but you were early at the bar drinking. And then he says, and women are like, it's your baby. But, you know, in my generation, women were the ones that, from the color of their lips to their face. You ever watch somebody put on makeup? I never have until this year, I guess. And I started looking at, because TikTok, women typically, often, that generation, that younger generation, they can't speak to a camera without doing all of their stuff. And it's so distracting. And they're always doing their hair. Like, what are you doing? Stop moving. But from hair to eyes to nails to clothes to implants, none of it's real. And I think that it would be very disappointing, but can't think of the word I'm looking for. It's not anxiety, but depression. It seems like it'd be really depressing to look into the mirror all the time and not be happy with what you see. That can't be healthy for your soul. You don't like the color of your eyes. You don't like the color of your lips. You don't like how thick they are, how thin they are, your eyebrows, your eyelids, your hair. Everything must go. That is not a good mindset. That's like a dead rabbit hole. I don't know where I was going with that. That has nothing to do with what I came to speak of. All right, so I'm going to focus here. Dreams. My keynote is, what are your dreams? And I guess where I started with that was talking about generations that they don't have their own thing today. And maybe it's because, like, even the music. I used to listen to rap music, and the rap music is so fast now that you cannot understand the words. So what's the point? Nobody gets your story. Every once in a while, there's an F-bomb or a cuss word, or they say something horrible that's like, oh yeah, that's cool now. What about the other 8,000 words that are in your song? Nobody knows what they are. You ever listen to a song on YouTube or something, but take out the instrumentals? It's just lyrics. It's like, wow, that's awful. Then flip it around and listen to just the instrumentals. It's like, wow, that's awful. And if you put them together, it seems to sound okay, or at least tolerable, maybe. Not for me, though. It has to be for the rest of the world, though, because these are the people who are being idolized everywhere. I don't know any of the celebrities these days. None of them. Because I don't understand what you're saying. So that's weird. And the way it impacts our generation now is nobody knows why they like what they like. Do you just like it because somebody else likes it? Is your hair only green because you've seen it someplace else, or you're trying to be seen? There's a girl that is across the street from my workplace, and she's shaved her head bald, except for stubble, which has been extremely dyed fuchsia? It's like hot pink. Forget what they call it. Fuchsia, I think? Could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. And strangely enough, it doesn't look... I don't want to say it doesn't look bad, but it definitely looks different. It definitely looks different. I guess it takes away from the tattoo that goes through her face and then down. That is distracting. Young 20s. I don't know where you're going with this. I don't know who puts that in your head. Who put that idea in your head? You didn't come up with it yourself. Somebody came up with it, and you're like, wow, I'm going to take it a step further. instead of being creative outwardly, people are trying to be creative inwardly. And they're just trying to find themselves. And it looks like a painful process. I went through my own painful processes. I'm absolutely no better. I'm just pointing out my perspectives. I've had an abundance of flaws, and I still do. But so here we go. What are your dreams? People can't dream these days because they don't know who they are or what they want out of life. Because I think they're trying to mimic everybody else or what is cool in the moment. But there is nothing cool in the moment because, it's like I was saying before, it's just a modge-podge of everything that has already happened. There's nothing new occurring. So they're just throwing it all together and trying to make sense of it. But it doesn't make sense, at least not to me. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't make sense to the rest of the world, the people that are doing it either. So what are your dreams? No, I fear that so many people don't have dreams. Another word for dreams are goals, plans, expectations, things that they look forward to, desires. What motivates you to continue every day? If it's only to pay the bills, that's a hard life. That is a very, very disappointing life. And the thing with goals and dreams is that's what they're in abundance for a reason. You know, we are here as humans, as souls. We are here to create, but we're also here to experience. I create a lot of things, and some I'm good at and some I'm terrible at. The ones I'm terrible at, I continue to try if I'm interested. If it's a goal, I continue to push that way. But if it doesn't happen, and then at some point I give up or lose interest, at which point it's no longer a dream or a goal. But I don't lose interest just because I don't have drive or grit, true grit, you know, the ability to push myself through my failures and continue to learn. And that's where we destroyed our children with helicopter parenting, you know. We didn't let them fail. Everybody got a trophy. Everybody. There are no winners. Yeah, there are. There has to be. You're not going to win at everything. You've got to learn to lose. The better you learn to lose, the better you will accept it and try harder and figure out why you lost and contemplate life, find out who you are, think about the game, think about the event, think about the dream. How come I didn't fulfill it? How come the plant didn't grow? How come I didn't do this or that? What could I have done better? Instead of jumping right back into the series of movies that we've been watching or the video games we've been playing, dive in and figure out what you could have done better. If it's exercise or eating better or studying or learning the other angle, there's a great book called The Art of War. And The Art of War was written, it's a thick book. It's a long book. It's hundreds of years old, if not thousands. And the whole point is know your enemy and you can defeat him. And so, but nobody wants to know their enemy. They just want to defeat them. Well, you can't win the war if you don't know your enemy. You know, because you got to know your enemy's next move. It's another way of saying look at other perspectives. It doesn't have to be an enemy. What are the other perspectives? You know, you can flip it around and say, hey, I want to be friends with that person over there. I really like what they're doing in life. You know, that's not an enemy situation, but you're looking at life from their perspective. How can I change my life or whatever I'm doing to become friends with this person so they're interested in me? It's about perspectives and not just having your perspective, or not just having a perspective but not knowing why you have it, you know, like the girl with fuchsia hair. Why? And if you say, I have conversations with adults these days, and oftentimes before I do, I'll say, listen, this is a deep conversation, so beforehand I just want to put this out there. I don't want any of your answers or my answers to be I don't know, I don't care, or whatever, you know? And it's how to have peaceful arguments, debates, conversations. The worst thing you can do as somebody that's over 40, I'd say over 30, is say, oh, I don't know. Why'd you do that? I don't know. Why do you drive that kind of... I don't know. Stop that. Figure it out. You need to know. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, then you're only doing it because the world told you to do it. And that has nothing to do with who you are. The earlier you realize that, the earlier you find out who you are, what you like. And it can't be, oh, I like this because the commercial. No. Oh, I like Budweiser because the guys and the game and... No. Stop that. Grow up. Mature. That's an elementary response. If there's something in your life you don't know, oh, I got this. Why do I do this? I don't know. Stop right there and figure it out. Figure out why you do what you do. Well, because my mom or dad says that. Nix that. Be gone. You know, there's been studies. I have a degree in marketing, and there's been studies that say, you know, let's say Tide detergent. Most people that'll use Tide detergent is because they were brought up using Tide detergent. That's what their parents use. Therefore, that's what they use. They have pizza on Friday because their parents had pizza on Friday. Stop that. Don't do it. Intentionally don't do it. Do something else. Become yourself. Become self-fulfilled. Have your own dreams. Find out what... We are here to experience everything. I've experienced a great deal. I'm very good at nothing. I'm not very good at anything. Because I have a great deal of experience in a lot of different realms. White collar, blue collar, different religions, different ideologies, different theologies. I come back to Christianity, and I commit my life to Jesus and the one true source that I believe, that I have knowledge of. I know I only like hot sauce on tacos. I don't like it on burritos. I don't like it on enchiladas. I don't like it on mole. I don't like it on pizza. I know this for a fact because I've tried it all. But as helicopter parents, you know, that's what we did to our kids. We said, Johnny doesn't like macaroni and cheese, so he doesn't have to eat it. I'll cook him a hamburger. And Johnny, I don't want the burger now. Oh, okay, Johnny, what can I make you now? What? Have you lost your mind? No, boy, you eat that burger. You know, you go back to the mac and cheese. In fact, eat both of them right now. You can't do that. Okay. You know, Johnny doesn't want to ride a bike because the first time he got on it, it wibbled. And mom and dad said, oh, we don't want Johnny to get hurt. Where did this come from? I think it came from because our parents let us get hurt so much that we resented it, maybe. Or looked back and went, oh, I'm not going to do that to my kids. I'm absolutely grateful my parents let me do what I did. Because I have suffered. I've suffered. I've endured. I've failed so many times. Life has beaten me up and down. But I always look back and went, hey, what could I have done better? Or the next time it comes around, I'm like, ooh, you know, you don't ride your skateboard over stones. You ride your skateboard around stones. Riding your skateboard over stones is like throwing a stick through a bicycle tire. It's not going to end well. But these are all things that we did as kids, and we learned and we got hurt. And a lot of people grew up and said, I'm not going to do that to my child. And I'm going to give my child everything that I never got and I wanted. I want them to experience that joy. When I was growing up, man, Toys R Us. We didn't even go to Toys R Us. That's the only place you could get toys. I got to go to Toys R Us like twice a year, and it was usually to buy another kid a gift for their birthday. We didn't have that kind of money where it's like, oh, I want it, therefore I want it to come in the mail tomorrow by Amazon, but I'll pay $8 more and it'll be here tonight. That's madness. There's no dreaming, no goals, no desire, no emotional attachment. It's just like a fish to a lure. Me, mine, mine, mine. It's insane. It's detrimental. It's so toxic. And even if you're people really don't realize, like poor kids today, they still get all kinds of stuff. I mean, you might be in poverty, but you still have so much stuff. You have more stuff now. Kids in poverty have more stuff now than I had when I was growing up. Because it wasn't available. It didn't exist. There was no such thing. I grew up without video games. I grew up with 3 channels and the TV went to static at midnight. And those 3 channels were black and white, and they didn't even come in very well. You had rabbit ears, we called them, the antennas on top of the TV, and you had to adjust it just right. And sometimes somebody had to stand up next to it and hold it because the energy of their body was working as an antenna. And once they let go, it went static again. You're like, no, go back to the TV and hold that stupid antenna. Because we got to watch the last 4 minutes of whatever show that we missed the other 18 minutes of. Now, that doesn't exist. You watch what you want when you want to watch it. And because of that, they've even given it a term, binge watching. Think about it. That is a toxic term. But we embrace it. Oh, I binge watch. Oh, what'd you do last night? Oh, I binge watched 42 episodes of... like 42 episodes. Man, that's gross. Oh, yeah, I took my cell phone to the bathroom and in the shower and everything. Yeah, I sleep with it. What is wrong with you? Not me. Still, my cell phone, most nights, it's on the other side of the room and on vibrate. I don't sleep with it next to me because I'm not sure what that electricity is doing to me. But I have seen a study where they try and grow fruit next to a Wi-Fi router and nothing grows, but then they grow it in another room with no Wi-Fi and it grows very well, and then they put it back in the room with the Wi-Fi and it dies. After I seen that, I was like, nope, I'm good. That's a high school study. It's on YouTube. Check it out. But dreams, not all of them are meant to be fulfilled. We are here to try and experience everything. That is life. Life is out there. It's not in here. It's not on the box. But if nobody's telling you that, then you don't know. You're supposed to walk outside. Kids are supposed to go outside and be bored out of their minds. They're supposed to walk up and down the sidewalk and kick rocks and throw sticks because they're bored, but they're thinking. They're watching, they're observing, they're taking in sunlight, they're taking in fresh air, but none of them do. There's like 8 million kids in my neighborhood, and I've seen 6 of them in the last 10 years. We have no dreams, no goals. Nobody talks about what you want to be when you grow up. You don't know what you want to be when you grow up if you have not taken a look at what is out there to be. I started talking to my kids about how you get stuff. You get stuff with money. How do you get money? You get a job. How do you get a job? You get an education. How do you get an education? You do well in 1st through 12th grade to get into college, university, or into a special skill. You find out what you like, but you have the paperwork and the credentials to get into something. Because that's what gets you money. And money gets you stuff. And stuff makes you happy. Just kidding. That's not true. I started talking to my children about money, about employment, about ideas of who does what and how they do it, why they do it, what's good about it, what's bad about it. When they were in car seats, they understood ideas. They knew that when we go to McDonald's, there's a company that makes the burgers. There's another company that makes the wrappers. There's another company that there's trucks that bring it in. There's farmers that grow the food, the potatoes, that cultivate, raise the cows, the chickens. All of this doesn't just come out of the back of McDonald's like magic. It all comes from somewhere. The Happy Meals, that cardboard box was made by somebody. Somebody sat down and thought and put ideas on that box to entertain children while they eat. The sauces, the plasticware, the janitor, the cook, the manager. How's the manager look here? The manager does not look happy. Why doesn't the manager look happy at McDonald's? Because they're 50 years old and they make $12 an hour. Or maybe they are happy, but they don't look happy. Then we go to the doctor and we talk about the same thing. Look at this doctor. You know how long they went to school for? You know how much money they make? You know what you can do with that kind of money? I spoke to my kids about this everywhere we went. Since they were very little. Now they're grown. Now they're off in their own directions and exploring life on their own. But they're not afraid to. They're more interested in life than I was for the first 45 years of my life. They know more about life. Unfortunately, they know a lot about video games and TikTok also. But I found there's certain battles that I'm not willing to fight, you know? And it's actually, they have to do it anymore. You've got to let your kids experience these things, TikToks and YouTubes and stuff, because it's their world. It's the world they're going to step into on their own when mom and dad are gone. And it's a world that they're going to need to know and understand out of college to get a job, or even to get into college, or to do their high school work. They're going to need to know how to use and navigate an iPad. It's not good to me, you know, if you ask me, but it's legit. Anyway, dreams. Not all dreams are meant to be fulfilled. It's an experience. I was talking to a friend of mine at work, and he was talking about fishing. He's a young kid, and he's interested in fishing, and he enjoys outdoors. And he was telling me a story about when he went fishing, and he didn't know how to tie a knot onto the hook, and he threw it out there, and the hook would come off. And so he went over to another fisherman and said, "Hey, can you show me how to tie the hook onto the end of the line?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure. Where's your hook?" And he's like, "Oh, it's in the water." He's like, "You only brought one hook?" He's like, "Yeah." So he gave him a hook and showed him how to do it. But, you know, that's not easy. I had to learn to tie. I had to tie a hook like probably 30 times before I was like, oh, okay. Because I'm not a knot tire. I'm not good at that. That's not my passion. It's not my interest. It's really hard to do something when you're not interested in it. But if you stick to it and do it enough, then at least you've got it. You've got the knowledge. You've got the skill. You didn't give up. You've accomplished something. I can tie one knot. I can tie one fisherman's knot that my father taught me. But I didn't enjoy fishing growing up because my father was very, I guess, avid fisherman. He was like, shh, you're scaring the fish. You're scaring the fish. Stop moving. Stop talking. Stop. I'm like, can we just leave? We've been out here for 4 hours. We caught one fish. I'm not interested. I'm the kind of fishing person that I'm like, I want to go out there and I want to have fish on every 8 to 10 minutes. And not one of these little tiny things. If it's a little tiny thing, that's not a fish to me. That's bait. I want to go out there and I don't even want to catch dinner. I just want to have that battle, you know, that fun part of it. But it was funny because he's still interested, so we were talking about going fishing. But he has that drive, and that's awesome because of his age. Most kids that age don't have that drive, that interest to go out there and do it on their own. But like I said, they're not all meant to be fulfilled. You're not going to be on the Bass Channel or whatever it's called in a $75,000 bass boat next year. If that's your goal and that's where you want to be, I mean, you still got to experience the rest of life. You still got to understand different things to enjoy it. And if you don't know who you are personally, then you're not going to know what your dreams are. You've got to know who you are as a personality. So many, this is a rabbit hole, but so many businesses to me fail because of leadership. I've had a lot of leadership, and they only understand their personality, their characteristic, their culture, their qualities, and everything else is wrong, or they don't know how to deal with it. That's terrible. In order to be successful as a member of society, you have to understand where different people are coming from. You know, why do they do what they do? You got to break yourself of life distractions. The video games, the binge watching of other people's useless acting, because that's not who they are. They're actors. They don't go home and continue to play that character at home. That's weird. You know, I know people that watch The Big Bang Theory, and yeah, I get it. It's like Friends back in the 80s or 90s, whenever that came out. Never watched it. I mean, here and there. Yeah. I mean, people would be like, oh, Friends. No, I'd rather have Friends than watch Friends, you know? I'd rather do that than watch it. It's like sports. I have no interest in watching sports, and well, my kids play now. So when they play, I like to watch it because I have a passion for what they have and what they're doing. There's an emotional attachment. But to go out and watch other men or women get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do something, it doesn't make sense to me. They don't come in to watch me at work, you know? And 90% of the time, the game is rigged. You already know who's going to win. They do. There's billions of dollars on it. There's no way somebody owns a team and puts billions of dollars into it, and they're like, you know, we got a 50-50 shot. Nah. No team. Even the team that loses all the time, they're getting there's other streams of money coming in. It's all a joke. It's like wrestling back in the day. We thought that, you know, Hulk Hogan and all that was legit. Yeah, they were truly out there beating on each other, but it was scripted. They knew who was going to win. I got my phone on. Usually I have it turned down. I apologize. They already knew who was going to win. It was a script. It was a play. It was an act. The world is a stage. We're the characters. We're the actors. Some of us are good at it, and some of us are really bad at it. They're bad at it because you haven't read your script yet. You haven't looked inside. You don't know who you are, what you like. You don't know if you're coming or going. Most of us have been so busy trying to impress other people, or so busy trying to make sure that our children impress other people. Oh, Johnny, he's a this and he's a that, and his grades and his girlfriend. Who cares? Johnny needs to get hurt. He needs to get scratched up. He needs to fail. Tell me Johnny's in his room crying because he failed his test or something, and now we got a story. But Johnny, who's a 4.0 student getting into Harvard just like Dad, whatever. There's no story there. Who's watching that? Nobody's binge watching that. Break yourself of life's distractions for sure. Get rid of them. Try everything. Fail at everything, or don't, but at least try it. Failure is okay. I seen a billboard one time about Abraham Lincoln and said he ran for presidency like 4 times and he lost the first 3, obviously, and he failed at many things. The greatest accomplishments are through failure. The greatest inventions are through failure. You know, somebody tries to invent this, they fail, but they're like, hey, wait, even though we didn't get this, you know what we can do with this? Oh man, this is even better than that. Yeah, forget that. Now we got this. Boom. Like, I never knew how they call this stuff Bondo. It's for cars. I don't know much about cars. I've never had an interest or a passion for cars at all. Some people do. I don't at all. I'm like, get me to point A, point B. Let me drive. I don't want to ride the bus. I want it to be reliable. I want it to work. That is about it. But yeah, I used to watch guys in their garage in the hood, and, you know, they were always bondoing their car and trying to fix their cars. I didn't get it. Wasn't interested. And then when I did find out about like body shops, and they charge a lot of money to fill holes and stuff. And so for most of my life, I was like, wow, that must be like welding or something. That must be a really stringent task. It's not. I went out and bought some. I was like, I gotta fix this rust spot in my car, because it's only gonna get worse, and I don't want it to get worse. So I watched a video. I was like, wait, what? So I went out there, bought a kit. The first couple hours I put into it was a complete mess, train wreck, crap everywhere, sticky stuff everywhere. What a mess, fiberglass everywhere. But then I was like, wait, I just need to line it up like this. Boom, 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 boom. And I need to know I'm not going to get it done tonight. I know it's not going to get done for like 2 weeks, because I need drying time, and I live in Michigan, so it's always raining or too windy or too hot, and it needs a better environment because I'm working out of the driveway. And so I just had to learn to be patient. And then when I was done, I bondoed my whole car. I found a creative passion for it. I'm bondoing everything. I was like, yeah, you couldn't apply this to everything. Literally. I mean, it's like Mod Podge. It's like paper mache, essentially. Your time frame is much shorter, and it smells terrible, but it's so hard. I mean, it's really cool. And so now I have all these creative ideas in my head. I'm like, I'm going to bondo this. I'm going to bondo that. I'm going to bondo this. I don't know. Just why not? I enjoyed it. Same thing with concrete. Cement. I was learning to use cement, not concrete. Learned that around the path. Two completely different things. It's like cement, concrete, asphalt. Asphalt's the black, tarry, sticky stuff. And concrete is essentially cement with a whole bunch of stuff inside, whether it's fiberglass or stones, usually pebbles, whole bunch of sand, stuff to, make it more stronger, keep it together better. But the cement, just like cement, holds it all together. So I fixed a hole in the driveway with cement, and I was like, man, I got a quote for this, and it was like $3,200. It's like, this was crazy easy, and I enjoyed it. I was like, you know what else I can do with cement? I can make stuff. Art. I can stick stuff together. I can put it on the outside. I can dip a cloth into it and hang it over a chair, and then it becomes like this different type of art that's just creative and different, That's how my brain works. So try everything, Think outside the box. Get away from life's distractions, and you don't get stuck in concrete's only for this. Bondo's only for this. Resin, fiberglass is only... No, man, you can do so many different things with it. Like I said, I got some notes up here, and I raised my kids to think of life from the end backwards, and I still do. How do you want to be buried? Where do you want to be buried? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want a funeral? Do you want anybody there? If you don't care now, it's even better, because then you won't be like, oh, nobody's coming to my funeral. I don't want a funeral. That's me. Zero funeral. Maybe a party. And I say, if people have not reached out to me in the last 6 months, they are not welcome. It's just how I go. It's how I roll. There'll be like 2 people at my party. Death for me is a celebration. It's not mourning. I've endured the pain and the suffering of this world. I'm ready for myself and anybody to move on. Of course, it's emotional, but I'm content with it. We've only made ourselves... I see people that are like in their 70s and their parents are still alive. They're like, your dad's 95 and your mom passed away and she's 97 and you're super broken. You did not prepare yourself for life or death, in that matter. That's not good. But yeah, what do you want your family to look like? How many kids do you want? What do you want them to be when they grow up? What kind of spouse do you want? Do you envision your spouse? Is it a white person, black person, a person of color? Is it, do they have a job? Do they stay at home? Are they creative? Do they like fishing? Where are you going to college at? How's college? Are you involved with other things? Are you playing sports? Are you doing well? Are you just focusing on studies? Are you at the library? Are you at a big university or community college? I started talking to my kids about this kind of stuff when they were very little. And it taught them to think. It taught them to be thinkers and consider life from the end to today. If I only think about tomorrow, today, it's a wrap. Nothing's going to happen. Don't associate with people that don't dream. If there's people in your life that have no dreams, no goals, no expectations or desires, no drive, no motivation, kick rocks, man. You're holding me down. You're holding me back. I'm giving you my positive energy, but you have nothing in return. And lastly here, I'm going to wrap this up because this is a really long episode here. The American dream is not real. I see kids on today, in the early 20s complaining about the cost of life, which I agree, it's definitely crazy. And no jobs, there's nothing out there. And I agree, it's crazy. But they all, not all, many of them say the American dream is dead. America, depending on how you phrase it, is either a continent or a country. It has no dream. It has people that live on it or in it that do the dreaming. There is no Antarctic dream. There is no Asian dream. There is no Africa dream. So why is there an American dream? The dream is the people that live there. We make things happen. The dream is, number one, to be free. It's a desire. It's not a dream. It's to have freedom of some freedom, not all freedom. No, America is not the land of the free. None of us are. You can't be. Zero. No, you're not free. If you are, you're miserable. Yeah, I live off the grid. I don't rely on anybody. Well, if you break your leg, what do? I go to the hospital. Well, think you're relying on the doctor now. And whoever's paying for it. It's not free. Nothing's free. You got to work for everything. The harder you work, the more you get. And here, because of, I don't know why, but yeah, we have great stuff. But we don't have great everything. Like the United States is, the United States is like this big. And you can live here, and you can live here. The entire, 80% of the United States you can't even live in. It's desert. There's nothing there. It's mountains, desert. It's inhabitable, I think is the word. What's the dream? We have good farmland. So do other countries. We have good knowledge. So do other countries. We have a very powerful and destructive and aggressive military. So do some countries. That's the reason we're free, is because we haven't been conquered. If we didn't have a strong, aggressive military, we would be conquered, and then we'd not be free. Look at the rest of the world. The U.S. is like 250 years old. The rest of the world is like thousands of years old. We're babies. We are babies. The American dream. There is no American dream. There's people in America that have dreams, goals, expectations, desires, and then there's not. And that's where the dream died. People have no idea who they are, where they want to go, what they want to be, or how they want to do it. And once they do it, a lot of them don't turn around and help other people out. Knowledge is useless if you don't share it. It's like they're building these bunkers under the earth. They're building these bunkers for the multi-trillionaires. Can you imagine living under the earth with a bunch of trillionaires? How miserable. I'd rather be up here with the radiation and the 12-foot scorpions and spiders, living in a bunker with a bunch of trillionaires. How miserable. How miserable. Not for me. I'm good. It's a wrap. All right, that was a super long one. The American dream is not dead because it's not real. The people in America have dreams, or we used to have dreams. Essentially, we had the same dreams as, this is going to be a stretch. I'm not trying to get myself in trouble. This is a real stretch. But essentially, we had the same dream as Adolf Hitler, to take over the world, to conquer it, to be the number one supreme country, running everything, calling the shots for everything. And that's what Hitler tried. He was just a monster the way he went about it. But that's what everybody's trying to do. They've been trying to do it since... Read the Old Testament. The Hebrews. The word Hebrew means one who travels. And they were traveling everywhere. Everybody's kicking them out. It's because they were going places not to conquer, but they would go places to be accepted. And they're like, no, we don't accept people, we conquer people. And you're just coming to us? That's a surrender. It's like the opposite of a conquer. You're surrendering. Okay, well, we'll take, yeah, I guess. Come on over. We'll take you as slaves. I mean, if we ain't got to conquer you, we just take you. Everywhere. Persia, Babylonia, Damascus, all of Europe, thousands of years. This is not new. This conflict has been going on forever. We just happen to have enough comfort in our lives in America, in the United States of America. We just have enough comfort to be able to watch it on TV and go, oh, this is terrible. This is not new. It's new to you. This is not news. This has been going on for thousands of years. So the American dream is not dead. We're very fortunate. We're not conquered. And we have a controlling society that doesn't allow certain things. Like right now, they're putting out a lot of immigrants, which is sad. Don't get me wrong, it's sad. But there's a lot of them that are criminals. And that's horrible. Look at our prison system. Our prison system is garbage. Garbage. I know men who want to go back to prison. 3 meals a day, hanging out with the fellas, joking around all day, fighting sometimes, drinking, smoking, and they're broken out here, so they struggle really hard. Now, look up the prison system in Ecuador, Guatemala, El Salvador, Venezuela. Holy smoly ravioli. You don't want to go to prison there. There's no AC, there's no fans, there's no heat, there's no doors, nothing gets fixed. There's no change of clothes, there's no washing clothes. There's water with bread put in it. 3 meals a day, rice. We had a prison system like that, I think it'd be a different story. So we are very fortunate. Even our prisoners, even the people in poverty in the United States are very fortunate. However, many of us or them have been raised in an environment that their parents did not let them fail. Their parents didn't let them explore life. Their parents didn't let unless it was, here's $2,000 so Johnny can go to band camp. And after band camp, Johnny's going to go to football camp. And after football camp, he's going to go to Greece. And what? No, that's not how the world works. That's not real. When Johnny gets older, he's going to be so sad. So here I end this rant. I usually end on a rant. There it is. Peace. Don't lose the dream. Have dreams. Have goals. Have desires. Have interest. And look at it from both sides. All perspectives. Whether there's 4 sides, 5 sides. Learn all perspectives. When you learn all, you ain't got to learn all of it. A little bit. When you have a little understanding, you'll grow into it. Peace.